First of all, I want to thank all our neighbors for showing just how much this has impacted them, what it means to them that they've come during working hours and so on to be here. This is a very, very personal issue for all of us. I had hoped to have longer since Ray isn't showing up, but apparently we can't break that rule, so I'm going to just start almost in the middle of what I was going to say. And what I want to address is the fact that this is considered a farming practice in any way whatsoever is actually ridiculous. It's ludicrous. We recognize that composting is something that is done on farms, but that usually includes recycling vegetative waste back into the ground along with manure, etc. Cooking kitchen waste and plastic boxes and bags and rotten meat are not part of the usual traditional composting. The bags and boxes apparently go through a screening process when this is dealt with properly, and it takes out the majority. Majority being the operative word. There is still plastic going into the land. And what happens to that land when year over year over year this is ground into the land? 5% of the land mass in British Columbia is agricultural. It is such a precious resource. To treat it in this egregious manner it's unspeakable. And to call this process green, I really question if one day in the future we go, whoa, what were we dreaming in calling this green even? Yes, we should return what came from the earth back to the earth. But some of these things are processed beyond belief and should not go back into our earth. And so I second what Rebecca has said, that to take something as technically sensitive as waste management and turn it over to people who are not trained and unknowledgeable and obviously incompetent. We would not have been drowning in a plume of noxious stench beyond almost human tolerance for week after week after week this summer. And there was basically ignoring of this fact. I cannot believe it. When I read that there was a composting facility close to the Victoria General Hospital, it was shut down like that. And it was only doing yard waste. But they decided that the aspergillus spore that came off of it was injurious to people in the hospital. Excuse me? We have respiratory systems. We have health concerns. And I really asked, did the CRD ever go out among the people and ask, are you getting sick from this? Well, I did. I went along, just the other day, I went down Glidden and asked them, how has this impacted you? And it is horrendous what those people have lived with. Grinding machines at night, litter throughout their yard from crows picking up rotting masses from this person's yard and distributing in their own, where their dogs could no longer run free in their own yard because they might pick up this noxious, rotting garbage and eat it. I mean, dogs aren't very discerning apparently, and have bones strewn throughout their yard. I mean, there is a littering bylaw in this. But I also question, what is the point of having bylaws if you then do not police them in any way? If we had laws for our streets and roads, but had no police and no real consequence if a person decides, gee, I think I'll drive at 200 miles an hour, and yet it doesn't matter. What is the point? I looked at the report, or pardon me, excuse me, my brain is going a little bit foggy, I think maybe because of what I breathed in all summer. But I look at the composting information that was put out and how they realized how sensitive this was and how it could impact people's health. Even the fact that the people on Glidden couldn't sleep at night. You know, that is actually considered a form of torture in some prisons around the world. You deprive people of their sleep consistently enough, and they will go mentally ill. Wow. And none of this was taken into consideration in any way whatsoever. What we found as problems is people were having their eyes burning, persistent nasal infections, sinus infections, mysterious toothaches that when gone through the process of having CT scans on them would be healthy. One woman had a tooth missing, and yet she had a toothache, and she said, can you possibly have toothaches like a phantom ache in your leg?
Could you wrap up now with your final sentence, please?
All right. My final sentence is, I don't feel that it is right for one person to harm another.
Thank you.
For one person to harm an entire community is unconscionable, and you folks have control of that.